Yes, yes, people. You are now on to my favourite part of the show, our favourite part of the show, the best part of the show, which is the interview part where we get to know an artist, their ins and outs in a non-disgusting way.
Well, we'll see how the interview goes.
Yeah, sometimes it can head that way. But anyway, this guy is an MC, an absolute killer on the mic, somebody who's originally from Brighton, and somebody I've had the pleasure of collabing with as well. And this dude goes by the name of Legs MC. Legs MC, how you doing, brother?
Easy. You're right. How you doing? Big up.
Yeah, good, brother.
Having me on.
Thank
you for coming on with us, because you must not have heard the show before, because if you did, you probably would have just given a pass.
No, I listened to the one that you played a track off before. I can't remember what track. It might have been Rap Cannibal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You played that,
yeah, man. Yeah, so how we start the show off? We just get to know you a little bit more, and then we'll delve into a little bit more deeper conversations, man, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, if you just want to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're about, all that sort of stuff, where it all started, and yeah, we'll just go from there, man.
Yes, well, Legs MC. That was the first name I went with. Like, my mates were calling me Legs just because my name started with an L. I've got two, like, my name's Lloyd, so I've got two L's, and it was just always, people just always got a bit like weird about the L's. So I ended up getting called Legs just from like nickname. And yeah, while all my mates, we all started rapping at the same time. I was 17, it was 1999. That's how old I am. Yeah, before the turn of the century. So I started rapping, and all my mates were trying to think up really like clever like names. One of my mates just went for about 100 names, and he was floating around the therapist for a while.
The rapist.
And then he started,
oh my god.
He's like rapping it out, and then all of a sudden realised, like, I took him about 2 months to realise that, maybe I don't want that written everywhere. A little bit too much space between that E and R, and then,
yeah, it doesn't look great on hip hop posters, to be fair.
No, that's the thing. I was just started thinking about it. It's like in the graph, he was kind of working it, but then I was like, yeah, it took us a while to, yeah. But yes, I was basically, Brighton was wicked. When I first started, like 99, there was so many hip hop crews in Brighton, and everyone was active, and there was loads of nights going on as well. So there was like an open mic night, Slip Jam B. It was on every Tuesday, and all the rappers in town would turn up to it, and it was like, it was quite elite back then. There was like, obviously a few hit and miss, but everyone was kind of like, I don't know if you've heard of rest in peace, Coasty, just passed. But yeah, he was a beast. Like, he was like one of the alphas there. But then he just had so many good spitters, like all the Lost Souls crew and stuff like that. So yeah, as soon as you kind of got into it, it was almost like you had to up your game immediately, because you were like, if I'm going to go on that stage, like, I got to be like better than that. And obviously, I was a teenager. I wanted to take it by storm. Yeah, we wanted to rush the stage. We were all quite woo obsessed. It was me and like 4 others. We were very Wu-Tang obsessed. And so basically we locked ourselves away and just ciphered like non-stop for about 4 months, because we knew that the open mic night had gone off for a bit and it was going to come back around. So we were like, we're going to be ready by the time it comes back around.
Skills and get
yeah, we were just like grilling each other till like 1 a.m, just like really like hammering down, like. But yeah, and then on our first night when it first came back around, we burst up on the scene, and we were all like 17, so it was quite fresh to everyone. And so we had all these like amazing producers approach us instantly. So we started working with Rec. He was signed to Warp and Skint Record. He's like a famous graph artist in Brighton, and he was quite a big figure in the Brighton scene. So we were like, shit, we might be onto something. So we started doing tracks with him, and then during this period I started going to a music tech, like a production course, and it was around this time I kind of realized that, you know, we were using like EMU 64s and all the expensive Akai samplers and that, and it would just take ages to do anything like samples, or like to build a track, you'd be there for weeks, like trying to sort of work it out. And then when we were going around to Rex, we were literally knocking up beats in like 5 minutes, you know, whatever was around us. Like he had a little sort of drum kit room, but, you know, we had samplers and, or just, you know, just had the computer there and we'd just be able to like play keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started realizing that music was quite easy to make and I didn't really need a massive studio and stuff. I just needed a computer and a way to get the vocals in there. And then from that point, yeah, from like 18 onwards, I was just recording my own stuff. It was because I hated waiting on beats as well. Like I hated like waiting on producers to sort of, and also my producers at the time were favouring other rappers around me. So I was because I hadn't quite got there yet, and they were like levels above me. So I started just producing my own stuff, and it was just like from there, really, I've just been doing that pretty consistently. I stopped for about 7 years in my 20s. Yeah, and it was around COVID when I started coming back into it. Something just started stirring inside me during COVID. Like, you know, I was just like, something's missing from this situation. I really need to I need an outlet.
A lot of people had to fill their time during COVID with something. So why not?
Yeah, that was it. It was like,
what you're good at, man.
I've been doing it for ages. Like, it's something that, you know, I think maybe like I got put off by kind of people going, "Oh, what? You're still doing it? You haven't like people expect you to like make it straight away. If you've been doing music for ages, they're like, oh, what if you're not like, you know, signed or anything, then, you know, why are you even bothering, sort of thing.
Yeah, friends of mine were like, oh, well, if you haven't made it by 30, I'm calling it for you. Just quit. There's no point. It's like it's not about that. It's like MCs don't do it for that. We do it because we fucking love it. You know what I mean?
I know, it's almost like I got a bit like guilty because it was like embarrassing for other people or something. Like I remember my brother speaking to like one of my friends and being like, you know, God, I wish he'd stop rapping and that. And I was like, it's just, you know, you're from a different world and you don't understand it. So it's like, you know, but yeah, so maybe, I don't know what it was that put me off. I basically had a bit of a kind of, I had a record contract in place with a really like the record label in Brighton. This was around 2008. This is what kind of really blew rap for me for a little while. But I was signed to a label. They weren't really a hip hop label. They were kind of like, they were trying to do sort of all sorts. They were trying to do pop music. They had like a string quartet. They had a country act.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of like they wanted a bit of all these different worlds. And so I was going to be the niche kind of angry rapper for them. And I made an album for them, but it was almost like, it was just kind of going to have these constant meetings with people that just don't understand the hip hop industry. And it was like, and I was coming at hip hop from a very sort of niche, kind of chilled, down tempo, almost like avant-garde style. And they were trying to put me on gigs with like Roll Deep and that. And I was just like, I'm going to get booed out of that place. It's not like the kind of stuff I was doing at that time.
Yeah.
I've got a bit more conventional hip hop nowadays, I think. But yeah, when I first started, I was very experimental and just, you know, sometimes I wouldn't even know about how many bars I've got or anything. I just, you know, my rhymes weren't hitting the snares or anything. I was just, you know, going for it for a long time. But yeah, so when I came back to rap and I had that time off, I felt a bit more structured this time. And as an adult, you just kind of, you know, I kind of had all the skill set there and I was like, right, let's just put it together again and see how. And I was originally just doing it for myself, like I do with all of it, really. But so I did that first album. It was called 7 Year Itch. And it was just literally me kind of scratching that itch. And then I thought, I'll put it out there. And then it was like I kind of put it out there and I was like, well, I'm kind of doing this again. And then I started doing this album. And every time I'm doing an album, it's kind of like I try and just do something different with it. Like the first one was me seeing if I could actually do it again. And then the second one was like, I gave that album to one of my mates and they were like, oh, the beats are a bit shit. So I was like, right, for this next album, I'm going to ramp up the beats. Ain't no one saying those beats are shit again. So I was like, you know, the Grown Up, the first Grown Up was like, me just trying to perfect beats. But also, that was the first time I started getting like kind of bigger features on as well. Because I just thought if I want to be in those kind of conversations, you've got to start getting, you know, so that was getting Mike Righteous and then getting Fruitcon from Gravediggers, two people I'd listened to like pretty much, you know, all my life. So so that was me trying to ramp it up a bit. And then obviously, you have to start playing the social media game. And I've been doing that since, done 4 Grown Up albums. And then I did a little sort of side series. It was around the time when people started getting locked up for tweets and that. So I was like being a bit fearful for like content and thinking, shit, like there's stuff I've said that, you know, yeah, could get me a knock on the door. So I started doing it under not a persona. I just wanted to do like a fiction story that no one could be like, oh, he's saying this and he's making a big political statement. I was just like, I'm going to create this detective character called Bart and Stacy, and then just so I can do songs but not have to think about my political opinion or you know, stuff like that. So I did that.
But I mean, with that though, like obviously you're able to back it up. Like if somebody's got a problem with what you say, you're able to go look at it in an artistry perspective rather than that's not me as a person. This is you know, this is something else.
I feel like with this new album, I was kind of not trying to entertain both worlds, but be more like suggestive of kind of the things maybe I would have explored a bit more in tracks before. Like I'd have been like, this is how I feel about that. You know what I mean? I'm not into that, and I'm going to tell you you're a prick if you're into that. I thought I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm going to more sort of suggest little scenarios and then just kind of leave them there and then move on to the next kind of rhyming pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that a lot more in this project. I was kind of like, you know, I'd sort of hint at my like ideas about immigration or whatever and just kind of hint at it and then just kind of leave it there and go move on to something else, not so anyone can kind of really like
you don't get pigeonholed into a thought process.
Yeah, because I feel like that might have happened over the past maybe like album or two before that. I kind of started having quite strong opinions about things.
And the way the world is now, people will just push an opinion on you.
People don't want to hear that. Like, it's not like they don't want to hear. Maybe some people are out there and they do want to hear that, and I'm maybe not reaching them. But it feels like when you try and sort of grill people with truth on tracks, it's almost like not what people listen to music for, I guess. Sometimes
it's a fine line, man. It can come across as preachy sometimes if it doesn't come across in the right way, you know. And you don't want to always
want to come across preachy and like, you know. And it's not, that's not how I am like in daily life. I'm from Brighton. I always thought I was quite liberal and quite sort of left wing and stuff. Like, so I was always very accepting of everything. Like, apart from some of the bullshit that's starting to happen recently. So I started doing like tracks about woke and kind of talking about my opinions about sort of, you know, it's like you can go too far with anything, can't you? It's like you can go too far right, you can go too far left, you can, you know.
And neither is generally the greatest thing to be, because you're gonna like just lose a whole bunch of people who will listen if you
And just on that principle alone, you'll lose people, because I've you know, I feel like I've already had that, like, kind of people just kind of maybe hearing one thing and maybe taking it out of context and then just being like, I'm not going to fuck with legs anymore. So it's kind of like, I don't know, you just, but maybe that's just what's going on in your brain all the time as an artist. You're always thinking, I've lost some people or you know, whatever. But yeah. That's what it is.
I think at the end of the day, as an artist, I think you've got a duty to speak your mind, and I think you're not always going to please everybody all the time, man. Like left wing, right wing. I don't really believe. I don't subscribe to that. I just, you know, you have your perspective on things, and that's your perspective. You don't have to be put in a camp for it. Do you know what I mean? It's just that is what it is.
Yeah,
and but you inevitably will be though.
Yeah, I know, but it's bullshit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I feel like, you know, definitely people, you know, I mean, we're all being put in camps, and it's kind of like, you know, like you say, it's like people have, you know, everyone's had these kind of thoughts for ages. It's almost like as soon as you put our thoughts into this thought machine, which is social media and stuff, it kind of gets sorted and fragmented into these algorithms anyway. So it's like, you know,
chewed up and spat out into a different context then as well. You know?
And then you even start to feel like you're in that context. Like, you know, I mean, I get pumped kind of, you know, look how stupid the left are posts on my social media all the time, and it's like, look, I'm not that far. Like, I agree, you know, like I say, I always thought I was quite a left wing kind of left-minded, liberal-minded kind of person. But yeah, maybe I guess as you get older as well, you start to feel like, you know, maybe not the world isn't all, you know, hunky-dory and we can't all really hug and get along, because there's certain shit that kind of, you know, is happening, and we kind of got to be aware of it, sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%, man. And obviously, then that was the series, right? You did the full grown up series, and then you done another album.
So I did 4 of them, and that was I was kind of getting a lot of people on them as well. I was getting people, like, I was reaching out for a lot of features. So yeah, I kind of treated that as my sort of, you know, my main projects that I'd want to be remembered by, sort of thing. Like those 4 albums, I've really put a lot of work into them. But then also, then after that. So I guess this year I put something out at the beginning of the year, but I didn't really get many listens, and it was kind of thrown out. I just kind of was playing around with some ideas at the time. So that project, I was basically trying to replicate Ghostface's style, that kind of fragmented, like kind of grabbing what, like, and also not really caring so much about the topic, because again, like I said, I felt like topics were getting a little bit, in this climate, getting a bit tetchy. So I thought, I'm just going to focus on the rhyming patterns and stuff like that. So so I did a real kind of Ghostface, like, I don't care what I'm saying, I'm just going to fucking make it sound good, EP. And that was at the start of the year. And then I had, like I say, with summer, don't know what it is about summer, but I just can't think properly. I've got the kids around me. It's too hot. Like it's almost
barbecue season.
I don't want to have to think about anything like that. And also my booth is like now in the house, like in a really hot little cupboard. So it's like in the summer, it's a bit unbearable and a bit uncomfortable. So my brain only really kickstarts around autumn, but I also had mic problems and stuff throughout the summer. So even when I was trying to record stuff, it just wasn't, either all the tones were kind of strict or it just wasn't going through properly and it was sounding really rubbish. So that kind of put me off. Every time I was trying to record, it was like sounding a bit rubbish. So I was coming away. Then I bought a new mic just around, time the kids are going back to school. And then basically did this album. Kids are back to school, had a bunch of ideas kind of half cut anyway. And then, had made loads of beats, sort of, you know. I find babysitting day is a good day for making beats.
Yeah. so you obviously produce as well, man. Sorry, I didn't realise
that. So like I say, like when I used to wait on beats, I used to get so frustrated, and then also having to wait to record as well. I'd find that when I came to the recording process, I'd just be like all rushed and a bit too excited, and wouldn't. And then I'd come out and kind of be like, that wasn't my best and stuff. So I found that I was recording at home when I'm comfy. I always get the best takes, and if 100%. I can record as soon as I've written something, then I get the best takes. Like
not only that, but at home as well, you've got that added thing where you don't feel there's any time pressure, and you're not like, you know, if a take isn't good, I'll do it. If I'm not happy with it, I'll do it 20, 30 times. But if you're in a studio,
are you sure about that? I've heard your albums; they sound.
I don't know, back in the days,
bit lackluster.
But it's the whole dynamic shifts as well when you're
100%,
recording someone as well, because it's like you're kind of almost start to put on a show for them, but when you're on your own, you're kind of like you're well tuned in to kind of how it was written is how I'm going to get it on that track. Whereas sometimes, like I say, when you got someone there, you're just trying to get through the take and not embarrass yourself.
I think there's pluses and minuses to it as well. Like I find if someone's there, like if I'm paying for studio time, which I rarely do because I'm constantly broke. So like if I do have to do that, I'm like, shit, it's my money. This money means a lot to me. So it's like focus mode. Let's get it done. But
money and time. But sometimes that can be
I find myself tripping up on myself.
Pressure makes diamonds and that as well. So I guess I just haven't done it that way for a long time. Like I always try to just do it myself.
It is fun getting in the studio with somebody else, but I always find, as I said, my best work. Because the thing is, there's been lots of times where I've recorded stuff and I've left there thinking, that was a good session. Listen back to the fucking track, and I'm like, oh man, like. That bit could be a little bit better.
Word out or something like that, or like maybe like a sort of overpronounce it. Or
That's it. And if I was at home, I would get that sorted straight away, even if it took another 3 takes to get it done. Whereas when you're in the studio, like, that'll do. That sounds wicked. That sounds wicked,
and also you get hyped off other people, so maybe you accept something that you wouldn't necessarily accept when you're under. But like you said as well, Dick, is when you're on your own, you haven't really got a filter though as well. So there's been times when I've maybe put out stuff that wasn't 100%, or I've kind of sent in feature verses and that I'd listen back to when it comes out. a month later, or you know, even like a year later, look, you know, because my process is a lot more like diary mode. Like I like to just churn stuff out, like, and kind of, I don't do a lot of re-recording or focusing on songs. My wife says I should focus on like a song more, but I just love the recording process, and I just love like just churn them out and then having a product at the end and kind of going, that's satisfied the whole urge of that whole project. I can put it aside, chill for a week, and then I'll come back and do some more in a bit. Like,
so is that a thing? Like, once a project's done, is it like kind of out of sight, out of mind? Then you won't really go back and listen to it that much. You'll just be that's done.
For the first week, you're kind of listening it through other people's ears, aren't you? You kind of like, someone will say, "Oh, I really liked your album." You'll be like, "Oh, I wonder why I started to listen to it through that person's ears." So you kind of then go listen back to it and think, "Oh yeah, he would have probably liked that, or they would have liked that." But then I don't touch it. I won't listen to it again, probably sort of after that. But then recently I like going back to stuff that's almost like 2 years old. Like I've been listening to the grown-up stuff again and kind of being like, I'm still happy with that. I'm still like, still quality shit. Like, there's no point on any of those albums where I'm like, oh yeah, I did phone that in, or I didn't work on that as well as I should have. So in that aspect, like compared to how I used to be before COVID, I was very much like, fucking throw it out. But now I do have a bit more quality control because I'm conscious of not having an external quality control. Do you know what I mean? I start being a bit, especially with the internet, and you're like, and especially with the current climate being a bit so tetchy and things can kind of be read the wrong way. I'm not quite so like say something that I'm going to cringe about sort of a year later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever like before you put it out? Do you ever like send it to like a close friend, or like you said, your wife saying focus on stuff? Do you let them listen and just go, right, this isn't what it should be, or something like that? And then take it on board?
I used to, and then I started to think, because it's kind of your preference as well. Like a lot of the songs, I feel like sometimes, like your own personal preference, you are kind of making it for yourself, and if you like the sound of it, then I'm kind of happy. Like I think that's probably how it should go out, as long as it's not hissy as fuck and I haven't noticed it. And I feel like this far on, I'm not, because I'm quite used to producing my own stuff and I know the sound of my own voice and stuff. I'm quite used to it not sounding hissy as fuck and everything sounding quite pristine as I can get it.
Yeah.
So I found I'd mostly, you wouldn't get negative feedback, but you'd get annoying feedback. You know what I mean? You get someone say something that you're like, I don't agree with that, but now I'm going to think about it all the time when that album comes out. Like, so it's
some people don't appreciate assault as well.
It's almost more harm than good, especially before it's come out, because then you're kind of like, or I don't know, just something that maybe you were quite precious about. Sometimes I find it would be like something that you were like, no, I was well into that, like, and someone else is like, oh, it sounds a bit like, it's like, then you also realize that when it comes out, it could be the track that you liked the least, that someone's like, oh my god, that track was incredible.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. Like I made tracks and I've been like, oh, this is like my magnus opus track, and people have gone, it's okay. But this other track, this is great. And I'm like, I spent 2 minutes on that. Like, I wrote it in 2 minutes. I recorded it one take. It was shit. It was just like a filler.
Didn't think about it at all. Like,
and they're like, it's fucking amazing, bro. Like, cool.
So that's another reason why I've kind of stopped. I stopped kind of giving it to people to listen to, but also, like kind of feel quite confident to just release it out there, because it's like, I know it's kind of, sounding good, the vocals are good, the drums are loud, you know what I mean? So I'm quite, as far as other people's tastes and preferences, like, when you get older, you realise you've got no control over that shit. So it's like, there's no point banging your head against the wall about it.
And do you still work with other producers, or have you just gone solely?
So basically I got in a bunch of beats for this album because I did that before, and I like, and what comes with that, sometimes I just feel like I make the beats that kind of make my voice sound good, And sometimes producers are just thinking about making their beat sound good.
Yeah,
and
very
it's
true.
like, and you'll get it, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, this beat's incredible!" And then I'll write to it for like 2 months and just not be able to rap on it properly, like, or maybe not. It just doesn't sound as good as me on my own beats, you know.
Yeah, there's just that little one thing that's just missing. You can't tweak just correctly enough.
Well, and it's also you don't want to tweak it because it's their beat and stuff, and it's like you're kind of, it's almost like you have to work around their framework rather than creating your own framework. And I like creating my own. I like being a bit more free with it. And I got a couple of beats for this album from a couple of producers that I really like, and I do work with quite a lot, but they just weren't clicking. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, just a tone of a vocal just wasn't working with a note in there. And there's a trick that I do on my beats as well, which is I basically strip out a lot of the main samples for my verses, so you can actually hear what's going on in the verse, and you can hear the technical ability, because that's my main thing, is the technical sort of delivery of it. So I feel like if you've got loads of samples in there, which most of the time our producers will do because they want their song sounding full. But for a vocalist, it's like, you know what I mean, I've got to compete with like some epic strings or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell that.
I just strip it out, and on my own beats, I strip it all out, and then I just bring it back for the chorus, because the chorus is repetitive. But with the verses, it will just be drums and bass, and you'll notice that in a lot of kind of where I've started to find my stride, and the songs are sounding much better. It's because I'm doing that. Like,
I worked on a project years and years ago by a producer named El Raw from Cardiff. Shout out to El Raw. He just sent out just drum loops. He was like, "This is all you're getting.
Nice.
This is like a concept. Write to this. I'll sort out the rest later." And it's a fucking fantastic project. Like how it was created is amazing. And like you saying that, stripping out everything, just going back to the bare bones of it, it's something really, really interesting to do and work at that way. I think it's like it's not the organic way that people would do it, but it's a fucking really clever way. And
because I feel like you're not following anything then, you know what I mean? It's like, even like any sample that's going on, that's kind of like the main riff. So it's kind of whatever it is, guitar, strings, whatever. And most people, sample-based producers will, because I tend to sort of build my songs up, like I'll maybe have a riff going, but I like to sort of build up with kind of layers of strings and matching chords and stuff. But when you're working with just samples, you can't really just strip that out unless the bass and drums is really strong. So I see why they wouldn't want to do that. They want their beat to sound full and stuff, but sometimes you're competing with it too much, and it's
100%, man. Like, and it's difficult to say as well, isn't it, to a producer that you need to do this and you need to.
Well, it shouldn't be.
That. I know it shouldn't be, but sometimes doing it the other way.
I feel like I could, but it's almost like with one of these producers I'm talking about in specific, his beats are so amazing that it's almost like I'm trying to follow it on this like path, but it's kind of not sounding as structured, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in control of the vocal when I'm doing, when you strip it down and you've just got the bass and drums and maybe one little sample happening, you're in control of your vocals a lot more. So and you're not kind of like I say, kind of meander with something else, because then that's when your tones start sounding off. And and I'm quite into sort of blending tones, and sort of, especially on this album, I was kind of finding notes that I like my voice with, you know what I mean? So I feel like you have that kind of control when you're producing your own stuff. You can kind of really mold it to what your voice is doing.
And you can tone down some of the instruments that might normally drown things out, because there's all about frequencies and shit, isn't it? So you can take down certain frequencies where
that's it. One of my producers like sends me beats that are fully mastered as well. So it's kind of like, you are really
that's a rarity.
Yeah, so it's almost like, it sounds epic, and you're like, I wish I could rap to this beat, but it's just like, I'm just gonna get lost in the mix, in the in the flow of it all. Like I feel like because also nowadays, like I do try and think more about the voice as an instrument, and it's kind of like, and the flow pattern is just like kind of percussion. So I kind of always try and match that percussion. And yeah, so when you're doing that and you're trying to compete with something else, it's too difficult. Yeah, you want to simplify it. And then the more simplified things are when you're recording, the easier it comes out, and the more expression you can kind of put in.
Yeah, the more technical you can get then, and then you can construct things around that.
And ultimately, that's kind of what I like sort of being known for, is the technical aspect. Like, the kind of political stuff and all that kind of came into it just because, as a 44-year-old male, you're kind of, living in UK, like you're not seeing the same things as the Americans. So you got to talk about what like, and to be authentic and to be real, you just got to kind of talk about what you know as well, isn't it? So,
well, exactly. That's what I was going to say, because before we started this interview, I hadn't heard a lot of your stuff, so I checked on YouTube, and the first track I listened to was 442. When you're talking about a Brit talking about what they know, a fucking football track is just fucking perfect for that as well. And also, being a Welshman, big up for shouting out Ryan Giggs with his 2 right feet scoring. Fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I was quite, when I was a kid, I was quite obsessed with I think it was might have been the 92 United team. And I don't support United now. I've moved on since then, but as a kid, I supported
a man from Brighton supporting Manchester United?
You know what?
It's unheard of.
Brighton weren't even, so basically when I wanted to watch football, Brighton weren't even in Brighton. They were in like Gillingham, which was like hundreds of miles away.
I was going to say that's a bit of a distance.
So I basically started supporting whoever was closest south. So I started supporting Fulham after my Man United time. But going back to that, I wanted to do a track about that specific team, because it's like the Cantona, Hughes, like
legendary.
Chelskis, like that team, Schmeichel on that was like magic. Like watching that Cantona season where he was literally winning games by himself and he was just being the man. That was kind of like, I was just at an age where I was like starting to love football, and I just always remember that. And I just thought, I bet there's other people out there that feel like that about that.
100%. Like, I was not a massive football guy, but I did love a fucking Merlin or Panini fucking football sticker album. And complete those for
the players that you end up remembering for years, like Paul Merton or like, Paolo Wanchop. Like I for some reason I remember Paolo Wanchop from Derby. Like
Hugo Egiog from Aston Villa for some reason. I don't know why. Hugo Egiog.
It's the sticker albums, I think it is. Yeah, like, that's what we connect back to.
Get him in shiny, and they're there for fucking life, mate.
But it's a comfortable feeling. Like I feel like blokes could actually talk about just naming. Like I think there's a meme out there saying like blokes can just stand there and name footballers back and forth and just be happy. That would be like a perfectly good.
We're friends for life. Then it's like
you name one player, you have 10 thoughts of different goals or moments they had, and then you move on. Like,
do you remember that crossover he made? Oh, fucking beautiful it was.
Like, and 30 years ago. The video tried to include the actual moment that I was thinking of when I like with the Vinnie Jones and Gaza bit. Like, I was trying to actually like pinpoint. That's exactly what I mean right there. That video.
Yeah, fucking great, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, wicked. And the beat was storming as well. I made a beat that was kind of storming. I was like, this is really like pumped. Like, what feels right to this? And then I just went, it's called football. We don't call it stuff kind of like. And then yeah. And I also just made it one verse as well, all the way through, and then the hook at the end, just because sometimes I like to just go off and just have a verse last as long as I feel like, sort of thing.
Yeah. I was going to say this. It's very rare. Like I love that. Like when there's a hook, it's just at the end. It's like, is it a hook or is it technically like a mini second verse? Like it's a nice sound.
And there's another track on the album where I just like with 442, it feels like a full song. It feels like I've got kind of 2 verses and hooks in there, but it is just literally like a bookend of a verse. And I did the same with Moody Chandelier, which I think came out really nice as well, because it's just literally a nice hook either end. It's quite satisfying, and then the one big verse done.
Right.
It's nice to play around, isn't it, with different structures. It does get a bit boring just doing the same old 16 verse and then 8-bar hook and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And what I got a bit bored with, like, well, not bored, but what I used to get annoyed with, like, if I was, basically, I almost started working with this is the only person I'm going to name check on the Black Twang's manager, Gordon. So basically, he was like, I started to try and work with him. He was going to manage me, and but he was really strict about the 3-verse structure, and I was already starting to like get a bit bored with trying to write third verses and stuff, and
especially as a solo artist as well.
I almost went the other way in like defiance. I was just kind of like, it's too boring by the time you get to the third verse, unless it's different people. If you're writing 3 verses by yourself, I just struggle. By the third verse, I've got nothing left to say on that topic. And now it's almost like I've got even shorter, because I feel like people's attention spans are shorter.
100%, yeah. So people aren't going to get to the third
like
verse,
2 minutes now.
Yeah, people aren't generally, if it's just you on a track, they're not going to be getting to that third verse on a whole, man.
And that third verse is like stress for us, because it's like we're trying to match the energy of the first 2 where the idea was fresh and we were into it, and now
and if it's like a week later you're going back to that third verse, it's not the same animal anymore.
And that's it. And I feel like when I first started, I was trying to write a lot of story tracks anyway, so sometimes a third verse was essential to kind of round it all up. But nowadays it's like, and like we say, with the attention, it's almost like this album as well. I even done some tracks that were just 2 minutes, because I thought most of the promotion is on social media, and we need short tracks, so I might as well have it all in a little, quickly digestible thing there for people, Yeah, no, it's funny you're saying that. About Sinners, he was in that kind of Brighton camp when we were first coming up. He basically just moved to Brighton with Hines, and they were storming up the Brighton hip hop scene as well. Like, so it was an exciting time around that time. Like, but Sinners is people. I think it's the deep voice and the cadence that I use that kind of sounds a little bit like Syntax. And
you both sound like adults to me. I don't know if you get like you like when you talk, it's like. Yes, sir. Okay, I want to listen. Please don't put me in detention. Type voices. You've got that prominence of it.
When I did a track back in the day with Wordsmith and Supernova, like they were, like my girlfriend at the time said something like, "You sound too proper," alongside them. Like, I was just like,
see, I don't get that too proper thing. That's perfect for hip hop. Like you hear Scroobius Pip and stuff. Like you can understand everything. Is perfect.
And and like since I went to uni, I kind of got a lot better at articulating myself. I used to be really bad with my T's. I used to be a lot more cockney as well. So
uni. Everybody seems to get that uni accent. Like you're around people from everywhere. It's like the 1950s BBC broadcaster accent. Just when everybody's this evening on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's almost like, sometimes you like when you're recording, you kind of hyper extend or like, I don't know, characterize your voice a little bit and kind of whatever's suiting the track. But I find like, the things I like listening to a lot more are like the kind of, I don't know, like the ODB voices or kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say what I'm trying to say, but that kind of, I don't know, not projected voice, but like kind of you're not putting on a voice, but
it's distinctive. It's listenable. It's got some gravitas to it.
Yeah, and coming across like that on tracks is kind of like, well, I'm well into that. Like, but what tracks are you going to play on the show? I was going to ask out of curiosity.
Well, funny enough, like because we just come into the second part of this interview now. Like people are like, why are they talking about Syntax and stuff? Yeah, because just before we started recording, I was saying I wanted to talk to you about the track "Delete Your Post" because I said it's like a juxtaposition and like complementary to Dr. Syntax, as your dad is on the internet. It very similar themes and stuff, and that's why we're talking about that. So that one is definitely 100% going to have to be played on the show. And
awesome.
Cam, if we could, K-Saulz, can we play Dr. Syntax's track back to back with that as well, so people can understand
I'd be curious
where I'm coming from, because they're very, very dissimilar tracks, but they have the same. People
that shouldn't be on the internet. It's like, just.
I think you need to pass a fucking test, and and after 60, you should just not be allowed on any fucking social media.
Or just there'd be like a doorman that's kind of like, what are you going to say? Hold on, chill out. What are you going to say? Yeah, because we've got it in my family. One of the members of my family, I won't say who, but yeah, used to be well bad with the bloody thinking Facebook's a personal thing and thinking that no one else can see it and just kind of forgetting.
Yeah, it's like their diary.
Comments and that.
Yeah. Like I've got an uncle. He's black. Both his grandfathers come over on boats, and he's posting all this fucking like UKIP and fucking reform stuff, talking about boat people, and so is his wife. I'm like, to his wife, I'm like, you know, you married a black man, and to my uncle, I'm like, you know, you are a black man. Like, do you not understand what the fuck is going on? It's insane.
But it's also like the thing I worry about is that these people are teaching other people, because other people are just staring at the internet and just kind of seeing these people, and whatever that person says, they're like, all right, that's it. Yeah, carry on.
Everything is taken as read. Like, oh, it's on the internet. It's and these like we're all in our 40s. These are the people who used to tell us, don't believe everything you read in the paper. Take everything with a pinch of salt. And they read it on the internet. It's like, well, it's true. I've just seen a picture of 50 Cent shaking R. Kelly's and Diddy's hand in the cells.
Oh,
so obviously,
it's like fucking hell. I had to come off Facebook. That was so basically at the start of the year, I had a massive kind of social media tantrum, and I was like, "Well, I'm not letting my kids have this." And I did the anti-social media EP.
And can I just say, I don't even know what it was, but you're already in the right. You were correct with it, 100%.
Yeah, no, well, that's it. It's just like I came off Facebook because of that stuff, because I just thought, how's anyone meant to navigate that now? So basically, Facebook knew that I liked Eminem, for example, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing fake Eminem stories that are so well made that you're just like, I don't care about this, but like, why? What am I meant to think from this? Like, this is just like, how hard is it to navigate this world now when everything's just like, tailored for you, and also just could be complete bullshit. So
because that'll be in your feed on Facebook, because Facebook is really clever with it, because they'll put that on your feed. You need to go into your options to change feeds to see your friends' feed, because otherwise the front page is just garbage and
I just feel like all of them are doing that a little bit now.
100%.
I don't see anyone that I'm following on Instagram. I just get bare shit about Ronaldo and that. It's maybe because I watched 2 football videos.
That's it, man. All you got to do is watch one video of something, and that's it. Then your whole thing gets clogged up.
Did you upload a clip of 442 to your channel? Because if you did, then it's like you're done.
Now they just think I'm football obsessed, and so it's just now it's just watching Match of the Day when I'm scrolling. And from over 30 years as well of international, just everything. I get a lot now. Yeah, and then every now and again I'll get some AI far right protest thing, and then it'll go back to the football.
You know what? I had a little bit of a thing the other night, man, about, I don't know, maybe about a week ago now, maybe 4 or 5 nights, where I was just like, I couldn't sleep, active mind, creative mind, and that. And I was just thinking about stuff lying there. And one of the things I was thinking about, I was laying there for about 6 hours, couldn't fucking sleep. Anyway, one of the things I thought about is distraction, how much basically I've been monitoring my phone for the last sort of month and a half to see how much how much I was on my phone. And some days I was on there for like over 3 hours, way over 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours.
I don't want to tell you my results for that, because it's awful.
And then I was saying to my missus, time seems to have gone, I've been saying for a month, time seems to have sped up.
Yeah.
And then I realised, once I added all those hours on the phone together, I was losing out on 2.5 to 3 days every week.
And also, none of it makes you feel good either.
Literally,
it's doom scrolling. Yeah,
it is, man. And you get sucked into it, didn't you? Like you go on there to post something for your music, and then you've ended up being on there for an hour, and you haven't even fucking posted the thing you went on there for.
I know. Yeah. So even the posting of like now at the moment, I'm trying to do all the sort of, I'm gonna do a wacky creative post to do the album, and you know what I mean. It just, then that becomes the consumption, and it's just and it's no matter what you do, you can't really navigate people over to Spotify. You can advertise it as much as you want, but it's also like my stories get seen by the same 20 people all the time. So I'm feel like I'm bombarding them, because I can actually see who's doing that. And then with all these other hundreds that I'm getting on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, I'm just like, no one's gone through to, other than the core listeners that I know would check one of my albums when it first comes out.
Mm.
Then,
I've got a bit of advice for you with that. You should listen to our last show. We interviewed Harkos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he is just au fait with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like he does the digital side for us mostly, and he is so well equipped and knowledgeable. Like if you listen to the interview that K-Saulz done with him, you will learn a lot how to navigate all these things. Like I listened to it, I was blown away. Not that I'm going to do it because I'm fucking lazy and I've got nothing to promote at the moment.
Well, no,
but
I've started to try and like a few, like you kind of pick up a few tips from people, don't you? So yeah, someone told me that the key to TikTok is posting the same video 3 times or something like that, and then the algorithm will kind of take
there's all little niggly ways to.
It just takes up so much time, though, bruv. It's just
that's what I mean.
It feels like the art takes like 20% of the time, and then 80% of your time is fucking done doing all the other bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
And it's stuff you don't want to do as well.
Exactly,
like, I love recording, and it's like, and also I'm not like a big myself up kind of person. I've never been the kind of person that would be at a party and be like, "Do you want to hear me rap?" Like it was always something that I kind of do in my thing. If you want to listen to it, that's wicked. But like, so then to kind of, it's almost like social media is like you're having to go against that and be like, "Oh, please look at me," and I see other people do it, and I feel I cringe when I see other people do it. So I cringe even harder when I'm doing it.
And it's hard to describe.
It out there, like
it's like hard to describe MCs as introverted because we're out on stage, we're putting it all out there. But that's part of a small part of our persona. Like I'm quite introverted. Like when I'm around people, especially people I don't know, like in a big club scene, I fucking hate it, anxiety and stuff. So I'm not. Like I'm not like, do you want to hear this? Do you want? I'm not, and I don't want to put it on fucking socials.
Well, I feel like the introverts are the ones that kind of do more music because it's like you're introverted and you're kind of thinking all the time and you're analyzing shit, and that's kind of what I'm like. And then I always found that the people that were super like good at being out and they'd be getting all the opportunities, but they weren't writing like. You know, a quarter of the amount that I was writing or putting out or anything like that. They'd have like one track that they'd bounce around forever, but they're just always out and they're getting the wicked opportunities and stuff. So, so I always felt like I never really, you know, even back then when there was a lot of gig opportunities, I was always kind of, I was, you know, not playing the game, but like, you know, I'd be quite hostile. Like I was like, you know, I wasn't really appreciating the fact that there was going to be eventually a scarcity of gigs, like, you know, not many coming along. Like, so back then it was kind of like, you know, bowling the place and like, you know, we were getting gigs like every month or so. So I never knew that all that was going to kind of dry up. Like, so it was quite surprising when I managed to get a few gigs sort of post-COVID as well. And then going back to doing gigs after like 25 years of not doing them. Yeah, that was mad. That's quite a surreal situation.
The game has completely changed as well then, you know, 25 years.
Like people standing in front of you with phones and stuff, which is never something that happened before. Like that was quite surreal. It's more about, and then you start to realise as well that performing becomes more about getting the footage of you performing. Oh my God, I want to tell you about this American MC that I saw that kind of came to a gig that I'd just done about a month before, and I was thinking, wow, he's gonna pack out this place. And then I get there and it's mostly his crew that are packing out the front of the stage, and then there's no one else there. Like we were just sat down at the back, could see quite clearly that, but all the footage that came out on social media, funny we're talking about social media as well, like looked like it was a packed venue. And I was like, I always thought he was like, you know, a big rapper performing loads, getting loads of features. And then you just kind of realise that shit, everyone's got the same. We're all in the same boat. Like no one's coming out to see us. Like, you know, everyone. But it's also like it's a lot. Like now as well to try and navigate the social media. Loads of people tell you need physical copies again. So I started doing that elastic stage thing where you have all your sort of records ready to go on their online platform, and then it's like you order one, like so
it's made to order basically.
Made to order. Sorry. So I thought, you know, that's what people have been saying that they want. Do that, and then just nothing.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to navigate, man. It really is.
Yeah, it never puts me off though. Like, it's almost like I do get a few dribbles of sales in that exciting kind of first week, and then it just tailors off. And I do get loads on Spotify, but it's like, what's that doing? It's like, people just pilfering it.
That's just making someone else money, basically.
Yeah, literally. And it's like, you're not even sure if they've come on it on purpose or by accident. You know what I mean? So at least when you, with your Bandcamp numbers, you know, and like YouTube, people are coming to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, keep on trying shit. But mostly it is all about kind of enjoying making the project in the first place. And so I kind of, as soon as it starts to hit this kind of post 2 weeks after a release, I'm like ready to go on other shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm doing a collab with one of the producers that has done a few bits for me. Solar Sounds. We're doing something with some Colombian guy. So
wicked, man.
Do you work a lot with international people? Is that something you try to do?
That's my favorite thing about social media is the fact that when that album came out, the first day, the first 3 people that listened to the whole project in entirety, one's in Colombia, one's in Portugal, and one's in Canada. And so that's great, amazing itself, isn't it? It's like, you know, when I first started before COVID and all that, like, because I worked in record shops and stuff, so I'd make product at home, physically burn CDs, and then take them in, and then be like, you know, sell them to local people. So it'd only be my mates that really listened to it, and then, you know, now it's like, so basically, so one of them's the producer. He's in Portugal, Solar Sounds. Like, he's got wicked beats, like, and he's always churning them out. He's working on them. He's always trying to get other sort of rappers on board. So get in touch with him. He's wicked, man. Really nice guy as well. I think he's originally from sort of where I was living down in Feltham in London, but he's in Portugal now. But who else? Murmur in Scotland as well. The PCC as well. He's in Canada. So just get beats from all over, man. I kind of just started asking people, and same with features. I just, you know, I mean, send a nice message out to people, and most people are game. Like, you know, never hurts to ask.
We'll have to try and link you up with people, because me and Cam want to connect. Like, a lot of people that we're interviewing and stuff like that. Like, there's some fucking amazing MCs that, you know, we're interviewing and work with. So, like, let's all get together, you know?
A lot of acts that I didn't know about in the UK from you guys. So I've been obviously since you played Black Cannibal, I've been listening and obviously checking out, like, you know, because I love the fact that there's still a healthy scene of people in the UK going for it. You know what I mean? And it's like everyone has to come original as well, because it's like you're not going to stand out otherwise. So it's like, you know,
the scene is here, man. It just has to be nurtured.
Yeah,
you know?
It's almost like there's nuggets everywhere. We got to kind of just drill them out, like, you know. But
100%.
I love the scene. You know, at the moment, I'm loving all these kind of, you know, like the underground radio shows. Like, I wouldn't have a chance with getting any kind of radio play if it wasn't for guys like you and you know, just a few other.
Well, none of us would, and it's a fucking shame, because the stuff that you hear on the radio is just non-comparable to what we do on the underground scene, which I do find a lot better, and it's relatable.
I've submitted to BBC Introducing probably about 20 times. I just don't think they're ever going to play me. Maybe I did cuss them on one of the tracks that I sent them, so like maybe they might.
Well, that helps.
Do you know what? Like, I've uploaded like fucking so many on there, and I've only probably had about 5 or 6 played. But all the ones that I've had played have always been surprise ones, like ones where ones I upload, I think, you know, this is radio friendly, and then they'll play a track that's about the devil, like really fucking darker shit.
Oh, okay. So maybe I've been too moderate with it. I've been trying to
I couldn't believe it, man.
Maybe I should have said cunt more in this track. It could have got.
Do you know what? One of my favourite fucking things that happened was
went the wrong way.
I submitted the track, and fucking, and you know, you have to fucking send over like the the clean version. Anyway, there's a track I sent over and I say cunt in the ad libs and they didn't catch it. And I fucking heard it on the radio and I was like, yes, they fucking it's so blatant.
Yeah,
score one for K-Saulz.
Yeah.
That's a massive win, mate. Oh my God. On the BBC, have that. Oh,
I know, man. I know. It's fucking wicked.
Yeah. I wish I could get one on the BBC. Just slips off. So basically, after about 15 submissions, when I realised they weren't going to play me, I gave them Song About Freedom, where I say like they're just playing crack rap and gun and drug rap, and how's that going to affect my kids and stuff. And I was like, it's all the BBC's fault.
Mate, they're in a lot of trouble at the moment, anyway, aren't they? Fucking doctoring some. Mate, they're fucking.
Oh, don't start with that shit, Trump shit. Fuck off.
The Trump thing and the bloody having Hamas working with journalists and stuff and shit. Yeah, that's coming out as well. Not say I'm surprised.
Nah,
no.
It's all the stuff we knew anyway, and it's just all coming to the forefront.
How could we ever be surprised about anything after Jimmy Savile? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was game over then, mate. Like, and then every nonsense has just been like game over. Like, what? Why are you still fighting? Like, just lay down.
Oh man.
Yeah. We still have to pay our TV license though. I'll try to.
No, I don't fucking pay it. I never pay it, man. I just don't watch any of that shit.
I finally got my mother to we stopped paying it, and we generally don't watch the BBC now. Like, we don't watch.
It's my missus. She always watches the iPlayer dramas. Like I would. The only thing I watch is Match of the Day, and I would sacrifice it, but I just think I know it's coming up on some app somewhere. Like
I was going to say, there's ways around it. I'll speak to you after the recording.
Yeah,
I may have help for you there. Don't worry about that.
God, wink, wink. Yeah, God, yeah. Paying that kills me. It really does. Like,
in fact, I'm going to go on the internet now and just double check that I am right for this. So please continue speaking amongst yourselves.
I did because I did a film degree as well. Like, and I just learned how much corruption goes on in sort of TV media and stuff, and then just kind of BBC. I guess my go.
Yeah,
really does.
I don't trust anything they put out, man. And it's mad because like I haven't watched TV or read newspapers and shit for years. Like I just stay away from all that. The only thing I watch is streaming services, and that's it. And I've got some level of control over it and stuff. And like even like some of the stuff for kids and stuff, man, I think, oh my God, like there's so much subliminal dark shit that they put into kids' cartoons and stuff. You can't sit there and let your kids. You can't just walk out the room and let your kids watch stuff now. You have to fucking be listening in because they just come out with stuff like what the fuck.
I'd rather have my kids. Like I got no kids, but I'd rather have my kids watch stuff that was actually on TV than let them loose on YouTube with the random stuff that can pop up on there.
Yeah,
because there's some real crazy shit
on that as well, and it all sounds like rubbish. And sometimes I'll kind of, I try and kick up a fuss, and then I see how much they don't enjoy the things I put on as a replacement, or they'll just walk off and start trashing the house.
How old are your kids?
So they're like, so they're 6 and 7 now.
6 and 7. Oh, 6 and 7 , perfect. 6, 7, so
exactly
6, 7, all that shit.
Oh my God!
So you're gonna get that from them.
Everything I hear coming from that TV is absolute bullshit. Like Italian brain rot.
Have you got Skibbity toilets?
Don't tell me about Skibbity toilet. My boy was obsessed with it for fucking months.
Like
Michael Bay is going to make a Skibbity toilet film.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Have you heard this? Crazy.
See, that's the thing. It's because the mainstream latches onto this stuff that it's hard to keep them away from it because they're going to school and everyone's doing 6, 7 and Italian brain rot and that. So they want to know what it's about. And obviously having kids as well, it's like, I just think back to how I'd feel if I was being like not being allowed to watch the thing that's everyone's kicking off about. I'd be like,
you'd want to watch it more.
I'd want to be some sheltered kid, like what I mean.
Yeah, well, so, like when in school, when I'm sure it probably happened in your schools as well. Like Conkers got banned or Pogs got banned, Marbles got banned. It's like, well, no, we're fucking playing these. Then we're definitely going to be fucking doing this. 100%.
Oh, you know what? That's why I love the fact that I moved up north because the schools in London, like, they were getting so like pussy about everything. Like, I mean, they cancelled sports day because it had rained the night before, and I was just like,
what?
I mean, what are they doing? They're not doing 100-meter sprints, are they? Come on, like, they're not going to crack their head open on the grass. Like,
well, because it was raining the night before. the fuck is the mud soft? It's fine.
I know. I was like, what? They're 5. They're not going to go that fast. Like they're going to like injure themselves. Like, and so, but yeah, and that kind of equivalent thing happened all the time. Everything was getting more and more pussy, and so since we've moved up north, they're just normal schools, and they'll just be like, you know, your kid's banged his head again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sweet, thank you. Boys will be boys. Yeah, nice one.
Like the only thing you've got to worry about your kids in school up north is if like they want to become a ballet dancer instead of a steel worker. That's from what I understand.
Exactly. But down south, they would have been loving that. They would have been like, "Oh my god, we can get like some special tutor in, and we can charge." You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So the London school. So basically, my daughter was in the high school as well, and high school was out of control in London. Like, yeah, up here it's normal, and you know, there's teenagers only get away with so much, but down there, my God, teenagers are running the asylum.
So I mean, you've lived in Brighton, London.
Yeah, I went from,
and where are you two now? Up north? Where in north?
So we're in Stafford now. So we went from Brighton to London, and then obviously all my political inspired stuff was as London started to get quite hairy. Like, I mean, we were going to Tesco's and you wouldn't be able to buy any meat or coffee because it's all been nicked. Like, you know what I mean? And like the whole front window of Tesco's was smashed in, and like my kids saw someone get stabbed outside fucking Greg's, and that it was just wild. And Feltham was wild, like, and you just really felt like, you know, it's on my doorstep now. This isn't like something I can kind of pass off, and these people aren't being friendly at all. So, so basically we were looking for, and also we couldn't afford it. It was just getting more and more ridiculously expensive in London. And so, and obviously as our family got bigger, I got 3 kids. We just like, where's affordable? And then we wanted to own a bit of, you know, so we're doing a shared ownership. So you buy 10%, and just owning a little bit of something is better than just being stitched in London all the time. Like, and we were going more and further on the outskirts to like more and more shitholes and more deprived areas as well. And it was like paying more to live there. It was just like,
it is madness, man, down south.
What I was gonna ask about it though, with the moving and stuff, I was like, has that affected your like you said, different political things and stuff? Has that affected your style and culture of hip hop? Like, is Stafford got a good hip hop scene compared to Brighton or London?
No, I don't think. I think I'm probably the only rapper in Stafford. I love it. My football team now, who I support, Stafford Town FC, are literally like 2-minute walk from my house, and it's like £6 to get in. The kids get in free, and it's like, you know, a pretty decent non-league club. Like,
and at least you're in a city where the football team is, instead of Brighton in Gillingham.
Literally in a city like where you'd never. And also, like, I speak to all like the chairman and that. Like, you know, it's just like I feel like, you know, it's well nice here. You just feel
so you could be dropping a fucking a Stafford football club fucking rap for him. Get it on there, you know, get some promotion.
I featured the ground loads in that 442 video. Like,
Have you showed it to, like, you're saying you're speaking to the guy and stuff? Have you spoken to him about 442 and shared that?
You know what? I was thinking about doing a video with all the football players, but then I thought that could go a bit off rails. Like, just like,
Mate, get it done. That could be fun. Messy,
when
but fun.
When you say like about kind of attitude, like, definitely my kind of edges softened like completely. Like, since like in London, my raps were becoming like my behavior. I was tense. I was looking around me all the time. I was paranoid. Like, you know, obviously I smoke a lot of weed, so that's never helps. But I was definitely kind of, I just felt tense. And then when I came up here, there was a definite relief and like a release of like, oh, we're just in a safe area where it's not kicking off now. And definitely this album really reflects that, because I just got comfy, like, and now after a year of being here, I'm really comfy, and the music's coming out comfy, and I got a nice new mic and new preamp set up, and it's all kind of coming out nice and comfortable. And it's like, and then that's when it's not an effort, and that's when songs like Sit with the Worms, that literally came out in an evening because I'm just comfy now, and I'm like, get into a beat and get to ride it. And
do you find you more productive in like a relaxed state like that, or like
yeah,
back in London? Like obviously you're saying your
yeah.
environment is
Well, I was
really
kind of hyper productive down there, so I
yeah,
kind of that was almost. It's almost like I'm doing it for different reasons now. It's kind of like down there.
yeah,
It was like I was like agitated. I was doing songs like Angry Tune. I was like, this is war. Like whoever wants to
yeah,
fuck with me, like lyrically or like topic wise or opinion wise, let's go. And I was being quite aggressive with it. And so yeah, then I stepped back from that, and then obviously I took the summer off as well. But yeah, and also my political sort of opinions have kind of softened as well, because it's almost like you're looking at it all through binoculars up here, whereas down there it's like on my doorstep, and I'm scared of my kid, and it's like it's happening in the parks, and you're going into parks and there's 10 blokes standing around, you know what I mean? It's getting quite scary, like but then so like because I haven't got those concerns and everything's kind of softened, like I don't feel like the need to like, is everyone seeing this? You know what I mean? Is everyone seeing what I'm seeing? Like, I haven't got that urge anymore. It's more like I can kind of flippantly mention it in a song, but most of the time I'm going to go back to concentrating on trying to get flows sounding good and you know what I mean? So and I feel like that's the switch. It's almost like I've gone from doing songs because I need to talk about this to now I'm just doing songs because I want to make something that sounds really good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
your perspective shift, isn't it?
Has your productivity upped like since then? Or
well, you know what? I've had a change in job as well. So I was a gardener when I was in London, and then when I moved up here, it wasn't quite working out. The gardens are massive, and people didn't want to pay London prices, and it was like killing me up here for the first couple of weeks. So I got a job in the cinema. And so now I'm managing the cinema, and it's quite full on hours. So
nice.
So I'm basically my new sort of strategy for being productive is I'll just like when the kids are at school, when I've got the window in it. It's all about the window when you've got
exactly,
kids.
Man,
like,
exactly.
School, when no one's in the house, my wife's at work. Like I'll sit down with that beat someone gave me or whatever I was playing with the other day. I'll just bash it all out, record it to the best I can. And then with 4/4, I was, like I say, because my mic was broken for ages, there were a few songs that I had to keep on revisiting. And then I kept on changing the verses. I'd come back with, like, I think Take a Joke, I ended up changing the verses probably about 8 times. Like, either I wasn't being happy with it or I just kept on thinking I could do better. But then when I got the new mic, I was like, oh, it's not about the verses. It's actually about the quality of the recording. So, and then everything was coming out perfect. And then once things started sounding nice in the headphones again and recording was a nice process. So basically over the past couple of months, flew out 3 tracks a day, you know what I mean, when I had the time. But now, like I say, because I've just released that, it's almost like I've kind of had that release and I'm kind of having that little post period where I'm either trying to promote it on social media or I'm just kind of not really thinking about beats or lyrics that much. Today was the first time I recorded since that album, basically. But what I wanted to say about that album as well. So basically, the new thing I was trying with that album was I wanted to make 50 tracks and then take 12. Because I heard like MJ did that and Eminem does that like to an extent, like maybe 30 or 40 tracks.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that's a good way to work, and then you're definitely getting the best. I didn't get to 50; I got to about 30.
Yeah. So you've still got some tracks that you could use for another project. Yeah.
Like I say, it was all the other producer tracks. Like, see, I got a track from Chrome, who, like, I don't know if he's been produced by Chrome. He worked with some crazy people, and it was a sick beat. But I just, again, like I say, I was re-recording to it. I just couldn't find anything that worked. So there are all those kind of tracks that other people wouldn't probably notice the mistakes that I'm conscious of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's going back to that and revisiting some of the tracks, do you reckon, or?
Yeah, maybe.
Leave them as it is.
Or I might scrap them and just start again. Start
It's difficult doing that though, man. Sometimes there's like elements of it. You think, you know what, this could just if I did this a little bit differently.
And there's sometimes there was something that I did on that last album where I went back over 2 tracks and I'd just done a fresh hunt and like found all these new vinyl and a shop up here was doing them 50p each, and I was like, bang! I bought like 10, stripped them of like really tiny sounds and started like really pitching them down and getting them sounding like SB 1200 sounds, like and so Distractions in the Kitchen and another one, Release the Hostages, both had that technique where I was kind of had that on the keyboard, like RZA style, like whatever mad noise I had it on the keyboard, and I was just trying to like make a kind of zany SB12 sounding beat. And then, so yeah, now I've got all these sounds and they're kind of set up, ready to go for a future thing. So yeah, I think probably my next album will sound a bit more like Distractions in the Kitchen, with those kind of sounds that you can't quite place, that you don't really know what they are. You know what I mean? Like when something's pitched down enough or got enough grain or shit on it, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't quite work out what it even is anymore. Yeah. So I've got loads of these sounds that I can kind of fuck about with. So yeah, I think that's what I'm getting on with next, mate.
Well, on that note, man, it's
nice.
It's been lovely speaking to you. We've got a couple of minutes left of this interview, so you're talking about that, like what your next project's going to be. Have you got anything like in the works? And
there's a couple of releases, like I say, because my work rate is quite fast, and I put stuff out before some of the things that I've worked with other producers before they have come out. Sometimes, like with Watch Out, I think I'd put out like 2 albums before that came out. So, yeah, same. I've got like another producer that's got 2 tracks like on his album, but I did them like before Grown Up 2. So yeah, they're still to come out. And I got a track with someone from Killer Army as well, which I'm well excited about that.
Nice.
That's close. Like, I got quite close to Woo with Fruquan. I'm quite obsessed with getting close to Woo.
Mate, why wouldn't you be? That's a fucking move.
Yeah, I mean, so I even got on that, like, what's it, the Shade 45 like competition there, the Woo competition. I got into the top 100, so I was just so close to thinking that I maybe got hurt by RZA. And that's still my aim. Like, I think if I work with his cousin, then at least I might get a whistle.
Yeah, man.
Well,
RZA.
Legs, man. Like I said, it's the end of the interview,
pleasure,
man.
bro.
Thank you for doing this. Do you want to tell us where everybody can find your stuff? Obviously, it's Bandcamp, Spotify. Is there anything else?
DaddyLegsMC.bandcamp. All the videos are going through to YouTube. But yeah, mostly Daddy Legs MC in most formats. But elasticStage.com/DaddyLegsMC for the vinyl. Like, yeah, I want to push the vinyl. Let's get back to the hard copy, and I want to see some, because it'll be well limited as well. Like whoever gets copies, it'll be like 1 out of 5. You know,
so, that's it. That's like, it.
Once the world goes to shit, then they might be the only things that are found. Like someone might worship that in 40 years' time.
Get them signed as well. They make some.
Yeah, man, that's the dream. Like, find them under a fucking bin in 20 years' time.
Yeah, man, little time capsule, isn't it?
yeah, literally the physical time capsule. We never know when all this shit's going to go. All this digital.
I know, man.
100%.
All that career we worked on, like God. So exactly. I wanted some hard copy out there, man.